Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, how did I get here? Maybe your knees ache when you get up from the chair, or climbing the stairs feels a little tougher than it used to. I used to feel the same way. At 40, I was always tired. I had joint pain, struggled with my weight, and thought that getting older just meant getting weaker. But here's the surprising truth: I'm 69 now, and I feel better than I did back then. My body is lighter, my energy is higher, and my mind feels sharper. And no, I didn't win the genetic lottery, and I didn't spend thousands on fancy treatments. It came down to a handful of simple habits that anyone, yes, anyone, can build, no matter your age. When I hit my mid-60s, I realized something had to change. I was taking medications for blood pressure, constantly short of breath, and sleeping poorly. One morning, after getting winded just walking to the mailbox, I said to myself, enough. This can't be what aging is supposed to feel like. And that moment sparked a journey that completely transformed my health, not through magic, but through consistent, meaningful changes. You see, getting older doesn't have to mean losing your strength, your joy, or your health. The truth is, your body still has an incredible ability to heal, to grow, and to thrive, even after 60, 70, or beyond. You just need to give it the right tools. The first big change I made was with how I move my body. Back when I was younger, I thought exercise had to mean sweating in a gym or running for miles. But at this age, that approach does more harm than good. I learned that movement is what really matters, not intensity. Instead of pushing my body to exhaustion, I started focusing on consistency and joy. Every morning, I take a 30-minute walk. Nothing fancy, just around my neighborhood, breathing in the fresh air, greeting the sunrise. Some days I move slower, other days I go a little faster. The key isn't perfection, it's presence. Those quiet walks became my therapy, my meditation, and my health reset button. What surprised me most was how quickly my body responded. My energy began to climb, my balance improved, and my mood lifted. It wasn't about burning calories, it was about reconnecting with my body and giving it what it needed: gentle, regular motion. And here's the thing, movement doesn't just keep you fit, it keeps you young. It keeps your heart strong, your brain alert, and your spirit alive. You don't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights. If all you do is walk, stretch, or even dance in your living room, you're already doing more for your health than most people half your age. The second shift that changed everything was what I put on my plate. Now, I'm not talking about restrictive diets or counting calories. At 40, I tried every diet trend out there: low fat, high protein, no carb, and I always ended up tired and frustrated. What finally worked was much simpler: real food, not processed food. When I started eating more whole foods, vegetables, fruits, beans, nuts, fish, and olive oil, I noticed something remarkable. My inflammation dropped, my skin looked brighter, and even my digestion improved. I realized food isn't just fuel, it's information. Every bite you take tells your body how to feel. And believe me, you can taste the difference between food that nourishes and food that drains you. These days, my meals are colorful and simple: grilled salmon with lemon, roasted vegetables, fresh berries. I even enjoy a small piece of dark chocolate after dinner, guilt-free. It's not about perfection, it's about balance. But here's something most people overlook: how you eat matters just as much as what you eat. I used to eat in a rush, scrolling through my phone or watching TV, barely noticing what I was consuming. Now, I take my time. I sit down, breathe, and actually enjoy each bite. When you slow down, your body digests better, and your mind feels calmer. One of my favorite habits is making breakfast a quiet ritual. I start the day with oatmeal, walnuts, a drizzle of honey, and a cup of green tea. As I eat, I think about something I'm grateful for. That small practice sets the tone for my entire day. And that brings me to the third and perhaps most surprising lesson: stress is the hidden enemy of aging well. I didn't realize how much tension I carried around for decades. Work stress, family stress, even the pressure to stay productive, it all built up quietly, affecting my sleep, my digestion, and even my mood. When I retired, I thought the stress would disappear. But it didn't. It simply changed shape. I worried about my health, my future, and whether I was doing enough. Then one day, I read something that changed my perspective. You can't control every storm, but you can learn to dance in the rain. That's when I began a simple breathing practice. Every afternoon, I sit for 5 minutes and focus only on my breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Sometimes I close my eyes, sometimes I just sit by the window and listen to the birds. Those few minutes ground me, no matter what kind of day I'm having. It's amazing how such a small habit can change everything. My blood pressure dropped. My sleep improved. And I found myself more patient, more centered, and genuinely happier. What I've learned over the years is that true health isn't just about the body, it's about the mind, too. You can eat all the right foods and exercise every day, but if your mind is weighed down by worry, your body will feel it. Now, when challenges come up, I remind myself that peace isn't found in the absence of problems, it's found in how we respond to them. So, between moving gently, eating real food, and learning to manage stress, I started feeling younger from the inside out. My doctor was shocked at my next checkup. My blood pressure was normal, my cholesterol dropped, and I'd lost weight without trying. That was when I realized, health at this age isn't about fighting against time. It's about working with it. Watching and feel that these insights are meaningful. Please type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so, and don't forget to turn on the bell, so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos designed to uplift, inform, and inspire. Your support truly means a lot. It's what keeps us going and allows us to continue sharing thoughtful, helpful content just for you. Now, let's continue this journey together. You know, people often assume that once you reach a certain age, it's normal to slow down, to accept fatigue, aches, or forgetfulness as part of getting older. But I've learned that this mindset is what ages us faster than anything else. When I was in my 40s, I used to say, I'm too busy to take care of myself. Now, at 69, I realize I was never too busy, I was just too distracted by things that didn't really matter. What changed my life was not just my diet or exercise routine, but the way I thought about aging itself. One of the biggest lessons I learned was that your thoughts can either heal you or harm you. I used to wake up every morning groaning about my back pain or feeling anxious about the day ahead. And guess what? That became my reality. But the moment I started waking up with a different mindset, telling myself, today, I'm alive, and that's already something to be grateful for, everything started shifting. It sounds simple, maybe even silly, but gratitude is like medicine for the soul. I started keeping a small notebook by my bed. Every morning, before I reached for my phone or turned on the news, I wrote down 3 things I was thankful for. Some days it was as simple as, I slept well, or, the sun is shining. Other days, I'd write, my grandson called me, or, my knees didn't hurt today. Those few seconds of gratitude started shaping how I saw the world. And something magical happened. I began noticing the good more often than the bad. I laughed more, worried less, and started to enjoy the little moments again. My health followed that energy. I had more motivation to move, to eat better, to call my friends, and to live with purpose. But there's another side to happiness and health that I think many people our age don't talk about enough: connection. When I was younger, I thought being independent meant doing everything on my own. I didn't want to bother anyone or ask for help. But over time, I realized that independence doesn't mean isolation. It means knowing when to lean on others and when to let others lean on you. After I turned 65, I joined a small gardening club in my town. At first, I thought it was just a way to get out of the house. But it became much more than that. We shared stories, laughed, swapped recipes, and even supported each other through tough times. There's something incredibly healing about being around people who understand you, who don't judge your wrinkles, your pace, or your forgetfulness, but simply enjoy your company. Science even backs this up. Studies show that people with strong social connections live longer and have lower risks of heart disease and dementia. But beyond the research, you can feel the difference. When you're surrounded by good people, your energy changes. You smile more. You feel seen. You feel alive. So, one of the biggest things I tell anyone over 60 is this: don't isolate yourself. Whether it's joining a local group, volunteering, or just calling an old friend, connection is medicine. And the best part? It's free. Speaking of connection, there's another relationship that I had to rebuild, and that was with myself. For decades, I was my own worst critic. I'd look in the mirror and focus on every flaw. My wrinkles, my gray hair, my slower pace, I saw them all as signs that I was losing something. But over time, I realized I was wrong. These weren't losses. They were proof that I had lived, that I had survived. Now, when I look in the mirror, I see a story. I see laughter, challenges, love, and resilience written on my face. And that realization changed the way I treated myself. I stopped chasing perfection and started chasing peace. I began doing small things just for me, not out of guilt, not because I earned it, but because I deserved it. I started taking short afternoon naps without feeling lazy. I read novels again. I planted flowers. I listened to my favorite songs from the 70s while cooking dinner. And you know what's funny? Those moments of self-kindness started healing me from the inside out. My stress went down, my energy came back, and I even noticed fewer headaches. I realized that self-care isn't selfish, it's survival. But let me tell you, there was one habit that truly sealed the deal for me, something that made all the difference in keeping me strong and clear-minded: sleep. When I was younger, I treated sleep like an inconvenience. I'd stay up late working, scrolling through the news, or watching TV. Then I'd wake up exhausted and reach for another cup of coffee. It became a vicious cycle. But as I got older, I discovered that good sleep is like a secret fountain of youth. I made a few simple changes. I stopped drinking caffeine after noon, dimmed the lights an hour before bed, and kept my phone out of the bedroom. I also started a nighttime ritual. I'd stretch gently, sip on a cup of chamomile tea, and write one positive thought about the day. Within weeks, I was sleeping deeper and waking up refreshed. My mood improved, my focus sharpened, and even my appetite balanced out. Sleep isn't just rest, it's recovery. It's your body's way of repairing itself, clearing your mind, and restoring your spirit. When I talk to my friends who struggle with their health, I always tell them, if you want to feel younger, start by protecting your sleep like a treasure. It's one of the most powerful tools you have, and it doesn't cost a thing. All these small shifts, gratitude, connection, self-kindness, and sleep, became the foundation of my second life. Because that's truly what it feels like. My 40s were full of stress and pressure, but my 60s and beyond? They've been full of clarity, peace, and vitality. And that's what I want you to know: it's never too late to start feeling better. Your body is listening, your mind is adaptable, and your heart still has so much life left in it. You just have to give yourself permission to start again, to live lighter, think kinder, and love deeper. You know, one of the most surprising things I've learned after turning 60, and especially now at 69, is that health isn't only about what you eat or how much you exercise. It's about how you live. It's about the choices you make every single day, what you focus on, how you treat your body, how you talk to yourself, and the energy you bring into your life. When I was younger, I thought being healthy meant taking vitamins, running miles, or avoiding dessert. But now I see that real health is balance. It's waking up with peace in your heart, not rushing through the day, and ending it with gratitude. It's being strong enough to lift your grandchild, but also wise enough to rest when your body asks for it. Let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I met a man named Richard at the park. He was 75 but walked with the energy of someone in his 50s. We got to chatting, and I asked him what his secret was. He laughed and said, "I stopped living like I was running out of time." That hit me deeply. You see, many people after 60 start living in fear of illness, fear of being alone, fear of what's next. But that fear takes away the very thing we still have, life itself. Richard told me he used to worry constantly about his heart, his memory, his future. But one day, he decided that instead of worrying about dying, he would start focusing on living. He began doing things that made him feel alive, gardening, painting, dancing at local events. And you could see it in his eyes, that spark of joy that so many people lose as they get older. That conversation reminded me that happiness isn't something you stumble upon, it's something you create, moment by moment, choice by choice. It's the meal you cook and share, the laughter you allow yourself to feel, the quiet mornings you spend watching the sunrise. Happiness doesn't live in the past or the future, it lives in this exact breath. I know some of you might be watching this thinking, it's easy for him to say, but my body hurts, I'm tired, I'm dealing with so much. And I get it. Believe me, I do. Aging isn't always easy. There are days when you wake up and your knees ache, or when you forget why you walked into a room. But even on those days, you still have power, the power to choose how you respond. Instead of saying, my body is failing me, try saying, my body has carried me through a lot, and it's still here. Instead of saying, I'm getting old, try saying, I'm growing wiser. Small shifts in how you talk to yourself can create big changes in how you feel. Another thing that changed my life was reconnecting with purpose. After retiring, I felt lost. For decades, my job had given me a sense of direction. Suddenly, my days were quiet, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I thought purpose was something that ended with work, but I was wrong. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to mean starting a business or traveling the world. Sometimes purpose is as simple as tending your garden, mentoring a young person, or making your neighbor smile. It's about contributing, in your own small way, to the world around you. I started volunteering once a week at a local community garden. At first, it was just a way to get out of the house. But soon, it became something much deeper. Watching seeds grow into vegetables, seeing people come together, laughing and sharing stories, it gave me a reason to wake up excited. And I realized that purpose isn't about productivity, it's about connection. It's about doing something that makes your heart feel full. And speaking of feeling full, there's one more thing I want to share, the importance of joy. Real, simple joy. We often think joy is something that belongs to the young. But I think joy actually gets better with age. Because by now, we know what truly matters. We've seen enough of life to understand that happiness isn't in the fancy car or the big house, it's in the little moments. It's in the smell of coffee in the morning, the sound of your grandchild's laughter, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the quiet peace of knowing you've made it this far. You've endured. You've learned. You've lived. And that, my friend, is something to celebrate. So if there's one message I want you to take from all this, it's that it's never too late to rewrite your story. Your best years don't have to be behind you, they can be right now, if you choose them to be. You can be 69 and stronger than ever, just like me. You can wake up each day with gratitude, nourish your body with love, and fill your mind with positive thoughts. Don't let anyone convince you that age defines your limits. Age is simply the number of times the earth has spun since you arrived. It says nothing about your spirit, your energy, or your ability to change your life. If you're sitting there thinking about what you've lost, your youth, your strength, maybe even people you loved, I want to gently remind you of what you've gained. You've gained perspective, wisdom, resilience. You've gained stories that no young person could ever understand. And you still have so much left to give, to yourself, to your loved ones, to this world. So take a deep breath right now. Feel your chest rise and fall. That's life, still moving through you, still giving you another chance, still whispering, it's not too late. Be kind to your body. Be gentle with your heart. And most importantly, stay curious. Try new things, meet new people, taste new foods, listen to new music. Let life surprise you again. Because it can, if you let it. And if this message resonates with you, I'd love to hear your story. Share in the comments below. Tell me one small change you've made, or one thing you've discovered about yourself after 60. Your story might just inspire someone else who needs to hear it. If you enjoyed this video, Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more conversations like this, ones that remind you that aging is not the end, but the beginning of something deeper, more peaceful, and more beautiful than ever before. Here's to living your best, healthiest, and happiest life, no matter your age. Because life doesn't slow down after 60. It just gets more meaningful.